Good evening everyone, welcome back to Tom Plays Factorio for absolute beginners. We are, well, more or less finished the basics of a railway. At least to the point where we can actually start using it. And wanted to work on the wall a bit. I've got a decent amount of iron coming in now, which is nice. So yeah, actually, in terms of both railways and the wall, knocking up the steel production would not be a bad thing. But it's definitely doing better than it was. We're getting to the point where we're not actually going to need to add things manually to it anymore, which is good. Might mean we finally get sufficient gears as well. You never know. Right, okay. So let's see. How's our ammunition looking? Not amazing, I probably updated that recently. Okay, so we've got power poles, which is fine. Don't have a lot of the fast inserters, should we need them? Do a few more of these, maybe. How are we for walls? Plenty of walls. Quite low on gun turrets. Just thinking before we head over there, let's make sure we have what we need. Okay, right, research. So, what are we researching next? Well, I'm certainly interested in these batteries. So what's this? Fluid handling. Various ways to store and transport fluids. Let's do that. Although we are definitely going to need to actually find some oil before we can realistically make use of that. Still. Let's just check on the wall. Right, so we still don't have enough ammunition to improve it, to take it any further, so that's fine. I'm going to leave it alone. Double check down here. That all seems fine. Okay, in that case, let's see if we've got some more railroads so I can at least finish that last little loop. Yeah. Cool. How are we for traffic lights? Not going to have enough, I don't think, but I'm going to want a traffic light there. Might be worth getting rid of this one and sticking one there instead. It's all about breaking up the railways. Okay, so that's fine. So at some point we're actually going to want to have coal coming in. So how are we going to do that? I suppose we're probably still going to have coal coming off this side. So we're going to want coal, copper and iron all coming down here. So let's do the copper. There we go. And we just need to set these up to filter. So I just want copper ore coming out of these. Those are iron, those are copper. That's good. That should all work. Okay, fluid handling is finished. Right. So what else? Oil gathering and fluid wagons. Okay, so oil gathering is an obvious one. Once we find some oil. So this is all basically about allowing us to handle and transport fluid. So I don't tend to use barrels. I wonder if they was something that was brought in before we had proper trains that could handle fuel. But yeah, we've got pumps of fuel, we've got, well, for liquids, we've got storage tanks. So we're basically just gearing ourselves up to be able to handle liquids, but we're going to need to find some first. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to need is coal. So if we assume that we'll have 2 streams of coal as well. Then we probably want it to come in here. Okay, there's me not being very careful there. Come here. So let's also move you away a bit, because we're also going to want a feed down to the train. So if you remember, the trains basically run on coal. So we're actually going to want to automatically refuel any trains that come into this station. It's the obvious place to do it, because we're going to need to bring coal back here anyway. So I shouldn't need to filter that one, because there should only be coal on there, as long as we filter these, so that only coal gets offloaded. Obviously going to test all of this. So, right. So I think, as with that one, I'm also going to need this one to come away a bit. And need an underground belt to get you under there. And that should be it, pretty much. So hopefully this has all made sense. We're basically designing it so that this station can take coal. Actually, does the Alt key work for this, seeing as it was just mentioned again? There we go. Can offload coal, iron and copper. But because of the filters, they'll each go onto a different stream, and we're sort of gathering those streams together. So this is going to be copper, this is going to be coal, and this is going to be iron. So the iron one is already kind of working. Coal one basically goes past where we already are getting coal from our mines. Ditto for the copper. So hopefully that should all work as expected. The one slight difference is that the coal is also going to have a little diversion that comes around and reloads the train. Is the idea. So yeah, that's hopefully all kind of set up. Hopefully, while I've been doing that, we might actually have made a little bit of progress on the wall. So let's head back over. Check it out. And stick these 7 armor-piercing rounds on there as well. How's the steel doing now? It seems to be going. Right. Keeps still wanting to head up and right, whereas actually only need to head right now. Got a slightly bigger attack there. Slightly stunned that we still don't have these up to scratch. On to 9. Yeah, that's not great. Well, I'm going to at least put 1 here, if nothing else. See just how much chopping things down I need to do to get this working. If any. I guess not. Okay, cool. Right, in that case I'm going to check the mines and see what we can do to speed up the research, because I want to get radars researched as well. considering setting one up, at least at the top left of the base, because we're getting attacks there anyway. It's hard to see it making things much worse. So let's just dump a load of inserters over here, because these do seem to be the bottleneck. I'd make another assembly machine, but it still seems to all be down to gear wheels. And that just seems to be down to lack of iron rather than the actual assemblies. This is nearly full though, so that's good. That'll speed this one up slightly, because they'll no longer be diverting them into this box. Here's the one problem with using iron rather than wood: they do take longer to fill up. If I'd used wooden boxes, they would have filled up more quickly, but we are nearly there, so that's not so bad. Kind of thinking another steel producer up here wouldn't be a terrible thing. Only actually need the one though. Okay. Apparently I've used up all of my spare iron as well. And we're low on copper. Right, okay. So I guess we do need another copper mine, which is fine. Just kind of highlight the fact that we're going to have to find an external one. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't extend that coal supply quite far enough. Right. So that's all good. So I think we need to start moving towards connecting to another mine. And actually getting some use out of this train. Okay, so there's a copper mine down there, and there's an iron mine there. Quarry coal, so possibly the copper is actually slightly more urgent. Unfortunately, it does have a base sat right on top of it. There's a bunch of trees in the way here as well. So we could try coming down from this one. And going back up to this one, maybe? Would that work? Part of me kind of feels like we ought to do the iron one first, even though I feel like the copper might even be more pressing now. Honestly, part of me would like to have another loop. I know it seems a bit excessive. I suppose I could try and put one there. Gonna need some more rails, aren't I? Thinking about it. At least while we've only got one train, the loops aren't actually having to do anything as such. These seem to be operating kind of permanently. Just keeping a minor eye out there for anything that would actually benefit from faster inserters. Definitely need copper. Are we slowing down because of lack of power though? I think we are. Yeah, we need more power. Okay, so completely against advice here, I'm going to make another pump and boiler. Apparently I need a stone furnace for that. Okay, excellent. Probably have some of those in here. Right, so that might be part of our problem. That things are slowing down due to lack of power. So, hang on. Yeah, that's better. Just want to make some room. Oh, I only make one. At least have 2 per boiler. And then boiler needs to be in line with both of these. Gathering. Okay, please research radar. Shouldn't take too long, plus it's red vials only. Yep, that definitely didn't take too long. Okay, so that loads in there. There we go, replace a few of the pylons. So I'm wondering now if we have enough coal. I think we probably do, just about. But it's close. No, maybe not quite enough. Okay. Alright, 4th coal mine. Fine. That's good. Right, what else do I want to do? I am going to need the fluid wagons. Some abeliism. There are so many things that would be useful to have. I need to wonder if this actually is more efficient. I'll take the fluid wagon. Right, let us build a radar. So we can do this by hand, which is fine. So still going to be a bit tentative with these, but I am assuming that one in the top left corner is not going to attract attention from anywhere not protected by a wall. So while it will probably make these attacks worse, I'm at least hopeful that it won't cause problems elsewhere in the base. So what's basically going to happen with the radar, as well as giving us definite up-to-the-minute information, you see how that base over there in the darker area isn't moving, isn't changing, because it just looks like it did last time we saw it. Whereas here we can see absolutely everything within this square. So that's being provided by the radar, but it will also start uncovering areas much further afield, like this one. So it will allow us to see if there's anything beyond these enemy bases and whether it's worth our fighting our way through them. We need to keep a bit of an eye on this as well. Still, that's not bad, and I was going to go and pick up more railroads, weren't I? Okay. Let's inch our way a little bit closer to that copper mine. So what am I thinking? So if I can make some kind of loop here, maybe, even if it's not very big. Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure we will get more and more of these. To watch it, because there may be bases down here that have arisen since we were last down this way. Yeah, see, there really isn't a lot of room for any kind of loop. Maybe I should even try and make a loop around the copper mine. I'm habitually nervous about fighting in the dark. Simply because normally I have solar powered stuff powering a shield. Actually, there's a fair bit of room for loops up here potentially. That is a decent sized base. Part of it's being able to see as well, of course. Okay, why am I not moving? Oh, I'm being bitten, that's why. Lots of these here biter thingies. Right, so this is going to be a very awkward copper mine because it's in the middle of a bunch of trees. Maybe don't stand in acid, Tom. So I wouldn't be able to loop around it anyway. What we could do, I suppose, is bring a rail through it. Doesn't allow for much by way of... Oh, good grief. Sorry, tree. How are we actually going to get this back? Oh well, out of rails anyway. So we're going to have to go get more. Actually, do I want to leave that gun turret out there? I probably don't, do I? Not thinking then, that was just the backup. It's just purely temporary. Alright, looks like there's a couple of remaining biters down here. I hope that's all they are and not some kind of base that I'm not fully seeing. But I should probably deal with them if there are. Oh no, they're actual spitters hidden amongst the trees. So yeah, I suppose the options for the copper mine would be interesting. I don't know how we're going to protect this. We could go all the way round the trees, but probably I'm just going to have to chop down a few around them and just put turrets protecting them. It's not ideal placement, really. Still, never mind. Made a start. So I'm going to want to connect the rails for the mine up to this loop somehow. Which could end up being a minor pain, since we've already got one going in this way. Not too bad, I suppose. I guess what I should probably do is bring it in diagonally. Can still try and bring it down so that we can do a door. Not that that's absolutely necessary. But yeah, if we bring it in diagonally, then we can have one going out to head to the iron mine. It'll be fine. We'll work it out. Need to get some more rails first. And hopefully finish the down wall. Possibly look at working on modular armour as well, if we can find it, because it might allow me to move a bit faster. If you want to move faster, you're basically looking at armour modifications or putting concrete down. One of the two. That steel is not being built as fast as it could be. There you go. This is looking a bit better at least. Check the map, see if a radar's told us anything interesting, which so far it really hasn't. I suppose the one useful thing it does tell us is that maybe those bases aren't worth our time. Although I do worry about the constant attacks. So I'm sure they get more aggressive every time you kill one of them. So if they're perpetually attacking us, I do wonder if it might be better to wipe the base out. Okay, these have actually filled up. Astonishingly. Right, okay. So let's tentatively try and put some more gun turrets down. I'm very conscious that we're getting quite close to the enemy base now. So I'm a little reluctant to put too many down at once. Nope. Well, guess I'm doing this. Right, well you're out on your own, so you're probably a good place to start. Is that the only spitter? That's surprising. Okay then, not complaining. At this stage it probably is more cost effective to use grenades, really. Okay. Oh well. I guess I don't need to worry too much then. Just need to bring this down and then work out at what point we want to turn towards the west. That's right, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, totally right. Okay, don't want to get too ahead of myself. Okay, you're in the way. Still. Managing without too much deforestation, which is nice. Okay, cool. So leave them to it for a bit. Let them stock up on ammunition. Just gonna check the mines again. Right. Probably... I suppose I can... I had more or less resigned myself to using up this line, hadn't I? I suppose in the interests of keeping things going. But yeah, I don't want to deplete these stores too much because they kind of are fallback. Never ever needed to use the actual fallback, I'm just being paranoid. So in case things go horribly, horribly wrong, it would give us a chance to rebuild from scratch. Maybe. Yep, all good up here. Good, good. Core is all good. Coal all good. Right, we're fine. Is the power still good? Yeah. I figured it must be. I've added a fair bit there. Hopefully we'll be starting to bolster things with solar power soon as well. I'm fairly sure we need fluids for the batteries. Might not actually need oil, I'm not sure. I think it's sulfuric acid that we principally need for those. Alright, okay. That one's just a matter of time, apparently. And you are pipes, aren't you? Yeah. That's fine. Okay, so not the most dramatic moment to end on, but might just leave it there. So basically I've got a few more rails, probably not enough, but I want to get this connected up and start looking at defending it. While we've only got one train, I don't really need to worry about the loops because I don't need any traffic lights. It's fine having it as all one track. Once we bring this iron mine into it and start looking at the coal and the quarry, that's going to be more of a problem, and I'm going to want to start defending these loops as well. So once again, we're going to be looking at lots of ammunition. But if I can at least get some defence around this base, well, the iron mine, I'll be able to look at taking down this enemy base here. So yeah, probably need to take both of those out, which will be interesting. The other nice thing about it is that if I can get this mine fully protected, we can stick a radar there, and that will allow us to see a lot of this area as well. So yeah, but the main reason is to just get some copper that isn't this particular section. But other than that, not too bad. Wool's getting there. Probably planning to move it horizontally along there, so we've almost reached the point where we're going to be turning the corner. And yeah, cleared another base. set up the station for the various offloading things once I finally get them up and running. And yeah, just little bits of things really. But it's all good. It's all progress. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.